For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringWater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, joining you in a beautiful day here at Belmont Park. It really is. It was such a nice day. I got here in like an hour and 10 minutes, my commute. Everything has been perfect.
Wow.
I know. It's really wonderful.
Take some sun while you were outside today?
Oh, yeah. Got a lot of sun.
Take the old Paulie,
Actually, was
Paulie
out
walnuts?
around the city, you know, during the weekend. Was in Central Park. Went to the zoo. Always love
I was
going to
sitting
the
this weekend at the Belmont Park. Stayed Sunday. Saturday here was amazing. Keisha and I were up here most of the day, and the place was pretty packed. When they turned for home, you felt like you were back.
Are you sure you weren't just experiencing some gas or something? While
I
you were
wasn't.
sitting
I
up
was
there?
actually, Keisha was around. It's not you.
Okay. Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of
That was
Naira
pretty
Bets.
good, actually.
No better time than the present. Join Naira Bets.
There he is.
We'll match $200 your initial deposit. You and Performer. He's retired, by the way, in case you didn't know. But he did run back in March or February. Anyhow, head it over, Naira Bets. Become a member. What do we have today? We have the 50-50. I imagine you have to opt in for this as well. Use the opt-in on the site. I think this is app and app only, but we're hiding important information on our. We like to keep people alert. We never like to give all the information
stay
out
on
in
your
our
toes
slates.
around
You
here.
never want to have all. The important thing to do with a slate is to give some information, not all of it. 50-50. This is Thursday today in Belmont. Also, we have the Saturday contest. The information is here for this one, $300 buy-in. Not all of it. You have till 5 o'clock today, tomorrow
Today's
to sign
Thursday.
up. That's the Saturday contest. It's all live money.
You can register any day, by the way. It's not just Friday.
That's right. You can register by Friday.
By Friday at 5 p.m. So you got
Right, so we like to have incorrect information, too. To keep
right
people
around
on their
27
toes.
hours. That's right, though.
That is right. FS2, 3 to 8:30 tonight, covering our races, as well as Churchill. His first post is 5 o'clock. Race number 1, we'll go right to the videotape in race number 1. And I think it's a question of whether or not you want to bet Coinage, who's first foal from Bar of Gold, who won the 2017 Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. New York bred, excellent New York bred for part owner Chester and Mary Broman, or you want one of the first-time stars for Kelly Breen. There are tips on these. There's the story, obviously, on the 3 Juggler, who you have on top, and I've got second. So I didn't think this horse ran great, but I thought it ran well enough first time, would probably improve. I stuck with the one with experience, but I could be open to using either Kelly Breen horse as well.
Yeah, I actually didn't get any stories. I'm surprised my phone didn't ring about this. And again, splitting hairs here. Coinage raced a little greenly, I thought, first time out. The experience is going to help tremendously. It just looked to me that Juggler's work tab was a little bit more. I don't know. I know it was kind of similar to Silver Samurai.
Well, there are
but you
workout
get
reports
Rosario.
on the 3 Juggler.
Okay.
You can't really tell by looking at the workouts because they don't look very good on paper, but workout reports, time isn't as important as how they worked out. Silver Samurai, the other horse for Kelly Breen, worked 10 and 5th at the 2-year-old sales. Wasn't that hard ridden. I didn't think it was a bad workout. Juggler's a half to 3 horses that ran buyers in the 70s, which is nothing special, but it's not bad, and probably in company like this, it's relevant. 6-3, 3-6.
Yep.
Race number 2. So race, I think your top choice was scratch near.
That's correct. A lot of our top picks came out
today. A lot
today.
of weird scratches, important scratches. Short Poor, who I thought was a player as well. I don't like the horse that you scratched into. That's VIP Nation, who was in an uncompetitive field last time, where basically it was her and sort of Here Comes Jackie, who was coming off the claim, and we'll show you a stat for her after the. Actually, I won't, but. Notas are 0 for 4 off the claim on turf. They're fairly incomplete stats. Their numbers off the claim aren't particularly good, to say the least.
Right.
this horse, VIP Nation, found herself in the lead in a very slow pace, going a mile with no competition. I thought that there was more speed with Othwalk on the rail, and also the horse I have on top, Flashing Red, who I like. And while I end up scratching into her for second, because I just didn't have any great alternatives, I really probably, if I knew the 6 wouldn't run, I would have gone 5, 10, 9. I probably should have moved them around, but I guess she can win, but I don't like her.
Yeah, I mean, I lost some of my enthusiasm in here. I wanted to bet a few bucks on Short Pour today.
Strange scratch, yeah.
So, yeah, strange scratch, right? Yeah. There's a few of them, like you said.
She was
earlier.
entered in a race that came off the turf, and whatever, she's not playing.
Yeah. I mean, VIP Nation, there's a little bit more speed today. She probably isn't fast enough to make it. I know she'll have to do something and pass some horses to win, but kind of scratch into her and just think she's, at the very least, you know, you look at the race going 3/4 against better, I would think at this point. The 7/8 to a mile is probably what she wants to do best, and she gets that. I don't think this is the toughest bunch she's going to face. It's probably tougher than what she faced last time.
It's definitely tougher than last time.
I don't know if
She was
it's the
gifted the
toughest
race.
bunch she's going to face.
Yeah, I think she's very dressed up, and she's not that effective without the lead. Not impossible, obviously. The 10 equal measure for Peter Miller, ran against better horses last time. Didn't do a lot of running after breaking a step slowly and dropping back, but she did run against much better horses, and like you, I think she's a player. As far as Flashing Red, she's not a 1.25 mile horse, and she certainly had no shot in that race, and the pace totally collapsed. That wasn't a firm turf. That was a yielding turf, and that was a pace that completely came apart. Now, the Frogs horse, Kissing Frogs, didn't run well in that race, but she was running against much better here on Sunday's 9th race or 8th race, whatever, second to last race. And I just think she's kept some better company. She doesn't need the lead to win, but she can be forward, and I just thought she made a lot of sense in this group. Flashing Red, I'm surprised you don't have her in the top 4.
Yeah, my man Morley.
He's not a top 4 horse for you? Well, you've got a newfound love for Lolita Shamangal. You got to have Athwalk in there. The second Lolita Shamangal
there's
horse.
no Athwalk. Athwalk's the 2.
Oh, I apologize. Here comes Jackie. Note off the claim. They did get a horse to improve almost miraculously here on Sunday in the 7th race. That horse running second. Their numbers off the claim aren't good, but that horse ran out of its skin. An improvement off the claim.
Right? The 5?
That horse who won off that in that awful performance came back with a much bigger performance running second. Race number 3 was just completely and totally destroyed by scratches. Teetotaler is not going to play. I almost wonder if this was entered dirt only, MTO, and they just forgot to put it. Or,
yeah, maybe.
I mean, or they didn't chocolate, because she really doesn't have any turf pedigree. I was surprised that Chad was going to turf so quickly. She wasn't controlling speed, but she doesn't have a turf pedigree. Chocolate Cookie, I don't know why she's out, but she is a horse that's off 8 months, so maybe she has issues and didn't pass the vet. We'll take a look at Creasy and Giacosa last time. This was a crazy loss by Creasy, who was an hour and a half the best in this race. And usually when Pecatonica wins a race, it means that some version, some slew of miracles happened. And this was an incredible head bob. She lost, I actually thought she won, Creasy. And she's had tough trips. She had a tough trip 2 back at Aqueduct and wide behind a slow pace and Gold Rail, et cetera, et cetera. And she's just the horse to beat along.
I don't remember
Giacosa
who I bet in this race, but I do remember watching the race, and I had used Creasy in the pick 5 and just said,
I know you like him here. Wasp.
All right, that was Wasp. I was like, oh, okay. I'm alive in the pick 5. And then later on, I saw the results when I got home, and I was like, wait a minute.
She didn't
the
win.
horse got beat. Yeah. That was one of the most impossible photos. Look, after the scratches, Teetotaler was first-time turf, chocolate cookie off the left. At the very least,
there was something to
take a shot against this horse with. And now those two
Giacosa
horses
can win.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Giacosa can win.
And War Canoe can also win. The problem with War Canoe is she's woefully slow, and so is Giacosa. But she also is coming off of 2 horrendous performances as an 8-year-old. You have to wonder if War Canoe can really run anymore. But there was a time that she would crush these horses.
I'm with you though. I wonder if that version exists anymore.
Right. I mean, Dancing Kiki and 2 Cent Tootsie win. It's a massive upset in this field.
Right. I mean, I guess 2 Cent Tootsie can get in front and these horses can forget the past horses.
Irad was alert last time with the slow pace, and he got Creasy into the game, and I think with a moderate pace, he'll be much closer. And I also think that Luis Saez, even though Giacosa doesn't have much speed, he'll look to be at least a little more forward in here. I'll be surprised if...
And speaking of Irad back today.
Irad is back. That's right. His second race, his first ride? Thank you for pointing that out.
I believe
Who was his first
race,
mount back?
I think it was Atris. I think it was 3 Atris.
Bit.
Yes.
In race number 2, and we're thrilled that you're back, Irad. If you don't have us on mute, which you probably should, But it's great to have Irad back. And yeah, I'm glad it only took the exact 2 weeks.
That's what I was going to say. That never
so
happens.
Unusual,
I'll
right?
be out 2 weeks, okay?
At the racetrack,
literally
2 weeks,
2 weeks
is 2
later,
months.
he's here. It's great.
2 weeks is often 2 months for horses and humans, so it's great to have
Yes.
Irad back. Race number 4 kicks off the pick 6. No carryover in the pick 6. It's a funny race because you've got the first 2 favorites are losers, and we'll start with Benintendi. He's a fast baseball player for the
He
Red
was
Sox,
with the
right?
Red Sox. Yeah, I don't know if is he still there?
Yeah, here's his last race, last 4th of July, 11 months ago. And I'm going to show a stat where Brittany Russell has excellent numbers off layoffs in general and dirt sprints particularly well. This horse has lost at even money, 4 to 5, 4 to 5, and 3 to 5 since winning the debut smashingly. Has run big figures in a lot of those races, but tailed off before the layoff, and there's the layoff numbers, and you got a favorite at a short price of a layoff. But I guess this horse is the horse to beat. And the layoff numbers make you confident the horse will show up.
Right. It's funny. You said the 2 favorites, of course. Andy's alluding to the one advance
Well, we'll get
notice.
to advance notice
No,
in a
I'm just
minute.
saying. It's almost like this horse is the Mid-Atlantic version of advance notice, right? They run big
figures
and they just don't win.
Yeah.
They just don't win.
But at much, much shorter prices losing, and I think
Yes.
that's problematic.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I'm not against this horse as the horse to beat. I just don't want to pick a horse like this on top, nor do I want to pick advanced notice, we'll show last time, who might have been, I'm going to say, this is the worst. Well, we had that horse.
Gazilda
There was
40
there was a
tails.
there was a 3 to 5 shot the other day that was remarkably foolish. In a race at Churchill, a terrible 2-year-old race at Churchill.
I'm
there was-
sticking with Gazilda 40 tails at 4 to 5.
this horse at 2 to 5 was one of the worst of all time. You had a horse off and eased that hadn't won since the debut and had done nothing but burn money and was 2 to 5 in this race and was just awful. Linda Rice claims this horse, but how do you have any confidence in this horse?
0.
I mean, cutting back, maybe it'll help. But,
Yeah, maybe it'll help. The win and the beat a half length sprinting at 6.5. I don't know
Horse
how
can
you can have
win,
any
but-
confidence.
Wow, you left it out of the top
I don't
4.
like this horse
Okay.
at all today. This horse
Okay, I
wins.
hear you.
This horse wins. I'm tearing. I'm using 6s and 7s here.
Okay, I think there's 2 other possibilities. There's Deputy Flag, who is the speed, along with the 7 Trash Talker, who we'll get to in a moment. And I think Deputy Flag is not impossible. 7 furlongs at Parks off the layoff. Now, the horse who was the other speed in that race did finish second, Heart Rhythm. And Deputy Flag doesn't exactly have any races that get you too excited, but I think this horse is dangerous for Rudy second off a claim and is worth using, especially if you don't like advance notice.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't use that horse. And as far as Trash Talker, I took Trash Talker because Rob Atris's horses are running out of their skin. As simple as that. His horses are running through walls, and day after day. And this is a trainer change to Rob Atris. No disrespect to the former trainers. This is a big trainer
Positive
change.
trainer change,
To
of
Rob
course.
Atris, whose horses are running well. I know it's IRAD's. The horse will be a little overbet, but I'm looking for an alternative. The horse won't be favored, and I'm just going to take a horse that is too slow on paper. I will readily admit that. But I think you can't ignore Rob Atris, and you can't ignore the trainer.
First-time tag who's just been running against much, much better
Right.
horses. I mean, must use this. I saw that you picked this horse. I didn't put this horse on top. I took Benintendi.
Well, I thought there were 2
Yeah.
alternatives, a 2 and 7,
Yeah.
and I decided to put this horse on top. It's not I could have flipped a coin. I wasn't really
I
strong
gotcha.
on the other, and I decided to go with the trainer that's winning every race. But I don't. My opinion here is that I don't want to pick Benintendi or Advance Notice on top, and that only leaves the 2 and 7. You know, I mean, so I'm going to take a hot trainer. It's not a
don't
great
blame you.
handicapping opinion, but big scratch in race number 5. There were 2 I thought to lean on, Supreme Or and Malibu Pro. I hate when there's 1. I scratched into Carl Broberg off the claim, and he's 1 for 13 off the claim at Naira for whatever it's worth. We'll take a look at Malibu Pro's last race where he beat Legit, who to me is the other contender in here. I didn't think Legit had a huge excuse last time, but it's probably the other horse in here.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody else I wanted to use particularly.
I took a little bit of a fresh face, but yeah, these 2, Malibu Pro, like you said, off the claim. He's been pretty consistent, Andy. I mean, and he has that one race back in March, the outlier, the big 97.
Well, that was a track that was very kind to speed,
Yeah.
that enhanced the performances of forwardly placed horses. He was a negative drop down last time. He got it done. He was best last time. He wasn't bet last time. He could have been 4 to 5. He went up at 9 to 5. As far as Legit, he just seemed like the other horse. So what are you doing with Easy Shot?
Easy Shot, you know, I was told the horse was working with the blinkers. I don't know if this is accurate or not. And the work tab has just been pretty. It's been a pretty solid work tab. I just wanted a little bit of
Who's
a fresh
who's
face.
this trainer, Michelle?
Michelle used to work for Tom Worley. She was with Kelly Breen briefly.
Working for Kelly Breen, right?
And now you look. I mean, this horse ran against Pioneer Spirit, hard knocking claimers like Chris and Dave, Lone Rock.
The horse has been terrible since the claim.
He's been terrible. I know he's been terrible since the claim, but I'm hoping the blinker's on. This is Michelle's first chance. Michelle's only run a handful. Ran one horse. The horse that ran third, the Pat Quick claimed. I can't remember the name of the horse this winter at Aqueduct.
So fuzzy in this race. He can't win off his PPs, but he can. You know,
I just want
some old races that are good enough. But his recent races get him last here.
Legit's going to be far back like he always is. Malibu
but where's
Pro's
Easy Shot going to
Pro.
be?
I'm sorry.
Who do you think is going to?
I would imagine with the blinkers in that work tab, he's going to be a whole lot closer than he has been.
Well, he'll be closer than Legit, who has no speed, but he won't be. I don't know that he'll be closer than anybody else, but maybe you're right. Maybe he's never shown speed.
I mean, Al Cools has to be setting this pace, right? And then they're all chasing a horse that.
Who?
The 3 has to be on the front end here, no?
No, I don't know.
I would think Al Cools is on the
Mouvremage
lead.
will probably be forward in this race. Malibu Pro probably won't be that far off the pace. I imagine it'll be fairly competitive between the 3, 5, and 7. Depends who's more aggressive. I didn't think any of them were that much faster.
I want to take a little shot with this horse today.
Okay. All right, that's the first 5. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5, ends the early pick 5. The final pick 4 after a quick break.
Make business meetings exquisite. Make a weekend outing exquisite. Make a late night snack exquisite. Make a night on the town exquisite. For nearly 150 years, the Saratoga Spring Water Company has been producing the finest spring water available anywhere. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, presented by our wonderful sponsors at Saratoga Water.
Almost matches today, right?
Heading up to Saratoga. Opening day is 4 weeks from today.
Amazing.
Yeah. Still some great racing here this weekend. You haven't looked, but Saturday's card is exceptional.
I didn't look here, but they have this thing called the internet where you can actually get it up on your computer screen. It's amazing.
If you go to the computer, you can see my picks for Saturday's card. Anthony's got his PPs there.
My pieces are right here.
But he's looked. But don't worry,
I've looked. I have. It's amazing. You can look at stuff.
Who trains the favorites in the two New York bred stakes?
I didn't say I looked, but I looked. I took a look. I glanced.
Well, I thought we'd have a quiz.
I glanced.
I thought we'd have a little quiz.
You want to have a quiz?
I thought we'd have a little quiz since you
I was watching Speed
looked.
the other night.
Speed?
Yeah.
First time? It's about 30 years
I haven't
old.
seen Speed in a long time. Good movie. Dennis Hopper plays a real sicko. What else is new? Got a little Hopper to you.
Race number 6. I have a question about race number 6.
This is a doozy, huh?
Take a look at Black Sand running second last time. Did you consult with Chad Brown before leaving this horse off the top 4? Did you at least give him a call and let him know?
Did you really like this race?
I don't know how you. I don't love this horse. I have no idea how you keep this horse out of the top 4. I
just thought there were some more interesting horses in here.
Okay.
I mean, she's.
I think she's the likeliest winner of this race, but I'm betting against her.
Really? I didn't like her at all off this race, to be honest.
I can see you don't have a top 4.
I think she might need to be cut back a little bit more.
Well, obviously she doesn't, because the best race she ever ran.
But how good was it? You think? Hold on. Let me ask you a question. So she debuts as a 2-year-old. She's gone for almost 8 months. She comes back. Do you think that race last time, given the best circumstances she's ever run against, because it wasn't off a layoff and then it wasn't off an 8-month break.
But she's now running.
You think it was that much
either.
better than her other 2 races?
Yeah, significantly better. Yeah. Yeah,
you see
I'm
this
not
horse
sure.
completely different.
I'm not sure how you come to your conclusion.
Well, she's 9-2.
Okay.
Wow, I thought I was leaving off like an 8. I thought that said 9-5.
She won't
no,
be,
I don't
she
like
won't,
her.
She won't
I
be
don't
9-2,
like her
but okay. I think she's very logical in here.
Okay.
Miss Bonnie T. You know, it's funny with Miss Bonnie T. Maybe stretching her out as we take a look at Miss Bonnie T to 1.25 miles will help her because she'll be the controlling speed in here. And listen, she's faced some tough fields. I'm not going to be surprised when she wins. She just always seems to find someone to beat her. And, you know, I've been her biggest fan. I bet her in December.
Yep.
I bet her in April. She's been good.
I've kind of taken her away from you.
She's once lost 4 straight close races. It's just tough to take
Just
her.
can't take her. You can't take her. This is the kind of horse I ordinarily would be all over. If there was one or maybe 2 of those head or nose or necks on the card. But 4 in a row is just, it's almost inexcusable. And she can absolutely win. She's going to be the controlling speed, and maybe the extra distance is going to help her dull her speed out and get the job done. But
So you obviously think the In Italian race was a really good race.
I think I thought the Italian race was a pretty good race. I like the 2 horses coming out of there stretching back. Well, one stretching back out in Flaming Rouge, and Palamos. And Palamos is a horse who, the counterparty risk race before she went to the bench 2 starts back in November. I think if she moves forward, I thought she ran well enough last time at the mile and a 16th, and she looks like a horse that's going to appreciate some more distance. I would imagine she's going to be the one to take the biggest step forward. Now, I don't know if I would want her as the favorite. I don't know if I would want. I thought this board was going to look a whole lot. This morning line was going to look a whole lot different.
Oh, we'll see how the board looks. David
Yeah.
Aragona, thankfully, is back doing the morning line,
Yes.
so we will have accurate lines this week.
Do I want 2-1, 5-2 on her? No.
No, I mean, I would give her credit for being caught behind a slow pace, and that's why I would use her, and I would never use Flaming Rouge, who I think just sucked along behind a slow pace. How are you not a little bit bothered by the fact that Infinite Potential was so disappointing last weekend?
A little bit.
Well, you obviously aren't, because
A
you
little
put these
bit.
horses 1-2.
I do,
Which is
but
fine, but
I would. This race
that's
would.
that's why I put these horses lower,
That's
because
fine.
Infinite Potential did not
That's
run so
fine.
well, and I'm wondering if that Italian race may just stink.
It could have.
That concerns me.
But in this instance, I do believe Palamos is going to like a little bit more ground, and they ran Flaming Rouge. That was the shortest she ever ran distance last time. Now, so
right,
now
but
she
she
gets
also
her Lasix.
ran the best race she ever ran.
She did, but
So
but
she also got a giant perfect
how much
trip
did the
in there.
Lasix help? How much did the, you know what I mean? There were enough.
Maybe
there
it was
were enough
going into that
factors
incredible,
last time.
powerful Christophe Clement
Maybe it
barn
was.
that helped.
Maybe it was.
Getting in that legendary barn. I like Single Soul. Speaking of Graham Motion, we'll take a look at stat for Graham Motion with Turf Routers Maidens. That's pretty strong. This horse ran a good race, technical analysis. Wow was a good horse back then. It sort of changed. Since then, she hasn't run well this year.
No.
I don't think she ran great in there, but I didn't think she ran badly. You know, I liked her off her first race. I needed her for second last time. It's funny, I'd forgotten that. I was watching the replay. I'm like, oh, right, I need this horse for second. She did get in a little bit of traffic around the turn. And I'm just hoping off the layup, drawing well on the inside, stretching out at Dubawi, that maybe she can be one effective. This is a tricky race, and I think Miss Bonnie T is dangerous, especially Scratch Harvey's Princess, who was the only horse that could have contended with her up front early.
The Infinite Potential effort from the weekend, while I stuck to my guns of thinking the race still might be okay, and that these 2 fillies that I like today are going to like the added distance, it opens the race up.
Well,
more
I
for
think
me.
you have to. I think, I'm not saying
I
that
don't
one
disagree
horse
with you.
not
You
running
make a
that
great
well,
point
but
with
she
her.
did disappoint, and
She did not run well.
that bothered me with this race.
That's fine.
And listen, by the
And
way,
it could, and it should.
I'll be surprised if Flaming Rouge wins. I won't be surprised if Palamos wins. I think the one, all 4 of my top, I would use all 4 of my top 4. And you may be right about the 8. Listen, I wasn't a big fan of hers.
You were never a fan, I know.
She beat me for second for a lot of money last time out, actually. Race number 7, massively disappointed that I've actually picked Wasp today.
I could not believe it.
Well, I was thinking
couldn't believe
horse been running well.
Well,
and,
they have been running well.
My problem with Wasp was, why would anybody have bet that horse 2 back in a race that had no chance and against Espresso Shot? A little different against a field like this. I mean, this horse is one of the worst 6-5. Where are some bad favorites? This horse, and even you, who I argued with, because you picked Wasp second, and I said, you're insane, this horse will run last in the air, which she did. But even you said to me, how is this horse this short price? Even you, I mean, you thought she was more of a contender than I did, but even you said to me, I can't believe they're betting on this horse.
How much money do you want to book on her?
If you knew she was 6-5 or 7-5, you wouldn't have picked her 1, 2, 3, right? Yeah, that was insane. We'll take a look at Maiden Beauty. I kind of wanted to pick against her because she's not going to get the lead from Rosa Veloci, and it does seem like her better races are on the front end, and she now hasn't run in 2.5 months since running a bit of a clunker on a sloppy track, to be fair. Honestly, Anthony, I don't mind scratching into her. She almost lays over this field. I mean, you discount that bad 83 Figlet double or nothing got, and they got to lower that number sooner than later.
Right.
And I know that Fair Regis run some okay numbers. I don't know. She just
Listen,
is better
we
than
don't.
these horses.
I think we both are pretty good at not dealing in absolutes when we're up here. She just looks like she's a much better filly when she's on the lead. So in here, she is.
Well, hang on a second. That's not fair, Anthony, because her win 3 back, she stalked. So I don't think that's
Okay.
I don't think that's an accurate assumption.
I felt like she was better when she was forward off of
But she is-
these moderate paces.
She probably will be
I think
somewhat
Rosa
forward
Veloce is going to. So if
But
I
where's
was
her
right
good
handle,
race, Rosa Veloce? Since
No.
her debuts are only good race. I mean, she won a gold rail 2 back in a 5-horse field.
you are
Where's her
giving
good
up.
race?
You are giving up some seasoning, and right now you're
And
giving
talent.
up some figures. Yeah,
Talent.
some talent. You're giving it up a little bit.
Not
but
very good.
I think at 7, I think Maiden Beauty might also be a little better with a little bit more ground.
Oh, come on, stop
At the
it.
mile, I do.
Stop.
Especially in this instance where she will be on the chase. She's not going to be able to get in front of Rosa
You're not
Veloce.
losing this race because it's 7.
And I think Rosa Veloce gets the edge. To me, it was the fact that Rosa
got her
Veloce was
second.
going to control. Yeah.
And I don't
Look,
like
they're
anybody
the
else.
2 fillies. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard. Fair Regis had to go to Finger Lakes
I don't like
to
Fair
get back
Regis.
in the winner's
She
circle.
won
I
a
know the
ridiculous race here.
The race 3 back was one of the
It was a joke race.
the easiest 25
walked
state
in the
breds.
front end,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's 1s and 4s. You want to flip the coin.
I'm not flipping a coin.
Yeah, just
I
use
think
both
a
of
4
them,
is
right?
1,000
Oh,
times
okay.
more likely to win the 1. I don't think it's close.
You want a lunch? We'll do one lunch.
Okay, I don't even know where we are.
I don't either.
It was 74. I don't know if we bet
It was
since then or
74, and I
anything.
don't know what happened over the weekend.
74. We'll make it 73 because you picked so great this weekend.
Thanks.
You didn't pick great. Saturday and Sunday, it's great pick Sunday. Really impressive. Okay, 4 over 1.
Yeah, one lunch. A little action. Those should be 1-2. The
I don't
2
know if they'll be- I
favorites.
don't
We
know if
don't
they'll be
usually
one.
do it with the 2 favorites.
I don't know if they'll be 1-2.
No, who else is going to go? Fair Regis, maybe? Maybe
I
Fair
don't
Regis goes
know.
on a mission? You might be right.
I'm not. Oh, up early? No,
Yeah.
I think Fair Regis will be sitting second. No worse than second.
Okay. I thought it was going to line up 1-4, and
I don't see
I don't
how
think
that's
Joel was going to
possible.
let anybody out of the. I don't think Joel was going to let him out of their sights. With
Race
with
number
Maiden Beauty.
8. Let's start with Candy Flower and Princess Fowles. I put these replays in the wrong order. You know, I don't know what to do with this race, and I'm curious because Saratoga Fair comes back on Saturday. I thought Candy Flower ran pretty well in here, and I thought she was a player.
Yeah, I have a third. This is a filly that you almost feel like maybe fell through the cracks a little bit. Ran for 40. They got away with it. Then down in Florida, ran for the 35. She ran well enough that day. Saffie Joseph
Well,
plucked her
she's
out of there.
improved since she was
She's
claimed by
improved,
Sassy Joseph.
yeah.
Joseph. That's really the only discussion with her. This is not a horse that was ever competitive when Graham Motion had her with a field like this. But since she's gotten into Saffie Joseph's barn, she has improved in her
And
last
she's run
race.
from a mile to a mile and a half, so she has a little versatility there. Yeah, I mean, she's a horse that if you're playing multis, I think you have to use her, especially, coming out of those races, and some of these other fillies a little bit more dressed up. I think you're going to get a square enough price on her today. 5-6 to 1, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. There are some scratches. A big scratch to the 3. You
Yeah,
probably
that's
taking
true.
some money. Everybody likes Star Divine. We'll show the replay of her. Is it her last race or her debut? It's her last race where she ran a good 4th. When she broke last time, she was up near the pace, and I don't have a problem with her. I just don't like this trainer run stretch outs, even though he won with one the other day.
Okay. No, those stretch out numbers you
talk
put
about
up
this
on
horse.
Belmont Stakes Day were atrocious. But yeah, her debut was sensational. She actually improved by her figure 4 points in this effort. I don't think she appreciated being forward as much as just being able to settle and make one run. Now, stretching out, you would imagine that she's going to naturally be closer if she showed speed in the sprint last time. But I think Joelle will get her off the pace. You got Candy Flower inside. Apurate has some speed. There should be some pace on in front of her where she'll be. I don't think she'll
Pace
be
on in
out
front
the
of her?
back. I don't
Pace
think she'll
on
be
in
out the
front of her?
back, but I don't think she'll be on top of the pace like she was last time out.
I do.
think she'll be laying a couple of lines off the
I
lead.
disagree. I think
Okay.
she'll be sitting second in this race, probably second.
I think they're going to line up
Worst
1-2-2-1.
third. I think they'll line up 2-7-1 or 2-1-7.
And what's Princess Fauzi gonna do from outside out of the chute? I mean, she's got to try and be forward, right? She's probably not fast enough, but doesn't she have to try and be forward?
I didn't like her in here. I don't know what she's.
I don't either,
think-
but-
I have no idea what she's going to do. She's not. To me, she wasn't a contender in here, either from position or from.
Oh, I thought she was. I don't think she's a contender to win the race, but I do think she's for position.
You think she'll have something to do with how the pace plays out?
I
in this
think
race?
Jose Lozcano might not have any choice, Andy. And you're not talking about a guy that's a passive rider. This guy, he's an aggressive rider. I can see him trying to get over the top of the rest of these horses from that draw. I can see that.
Okay. Okay.
I might be wrong, but I can see it. Listen,
you see dead people,
let
too,
me ask
right?
you a question. If you had to name 3 guys in the room that would try a move like that, is he not one of them?
It's not how I handicap.
He's one of them.
I don't see her as a player,
Okay.
but that's fine.
I don't see her as a player either, but
Okay, we
as far
disagree. I'll be very surprised if she has an effect on the early pace. You think she will?
Okay.
I think she won't.
Fair enough.
We can move on. I don't see how she'll have an effect on this pace. As far as a Purite, it's very rare that there's a significant chart error like this, but she got completely left last time.
I made the exact with the winner.
Okay.
No question
Regardless
about
of the exact as you bet.
it. No, I'm just saying.
Important things that are relative to the race today.
No, I thought the same thing.
Anthony,
I thought the
we
same
could go
thing you
through and you
said.
can discuss every exacted bet you've made. No, you want to just go through horse by horse?
She
and you
got
bet?
left.
We
I
can
was
do
going
that.
to
I
say
don't
the
have a
same.
problem with that.
Go ahead, Andy.
I bet Pecatonica when she won a year and a half ago when she got a gold rail trip from
I
juniors.
was just saying.
Go through them all.
I remember. I thought that's what I.
She
I
didn't
thought
break.
that's what I remembered.
Okay. She didn't break last time. She's the speed in here. Now, I don't know how good she is. I do know that Toffin, in that win 2 back, came back and ran an 88 buyer in her next start, 89 buyer. She'd be Kissing Frogs. Now, Kissing Frogs isn't as good as that figure suggests, but I do know that Toffin improved out of that race. She's running some good horses in her races, and I thought she'd be in front. She wouldn't be the favorite. I don't know how big a price she'll be, but she won't be the favorite. I don't love Star Divine. I don't have a problem. She can obviously win this race. We'll get to So Darn Hot in a minute. I think we should talk about. I think we should also talk about Ice Princess. I don't know if she was entered as an MTO or not in her debut. She is a half horse that ran second here at a big price this week at American Ninja. There is turf in this horse, Ice Princess. So I wouldn't be totally dismissive of her.
That barn's just so cold right now.
Okay, but she's a first-time turfer. I mean, you can't just. I don't care how cold the barn is. She's obviously a horse that can win.
I care about how cold the barn is.
Okay. Well,
I care about a barn that was winning at 40% the first 3 months of the year, and that's winning at 4% the second 3 months of the year.
I get it. You also picked one of their horses.
I did
yesterday. They ran last.
I did.
So that's why you're.
I like to learn. I like to think I learned from my lessons.
Okay, I didn't pick this horse either, but I think this is an important horse to discuss in this race.
I think the eight's a little interesting.
I'll let you talk about her since you picked her higher than I did.
She's not really. I mean, she's a ghost zapper. She's a half to Come Dancing, who's obviously the best. When a horse like Come Dancing's in your family, that's more often than not going to be the best horse in the family. I thought this horse ran okay. Second start of her life on the turf at Gulfstream. I don't think she had the cleanest trip that day. And now it took her a long time to get back to the turf, but
actually she had a very good trip that day. She was in the 2-path in the first turn.
Thought she found some traffic there.
She didn't. She was on the rail on the second turn. She angled out smoothly the 3-path in the stretch, and actually got a superb ride from Joe Bravo in there. I don't think she ran that badly, but I thought she had a very good trip that day. Obviously, that race is not going to get her anything here, but that was a long, long time ago. No, I think she's a little.
Then she catches slop. They run her in Black-Eyed Susan. They take her here. She doesn't run 2 steps, and now you don't see her for a long time.
Subsequent starts, right?
Yeah, you know.
No, she's a stranger. I agree.
I thought she was a little interesting in here in a race
she's not,
where
she's not a proven no-hoper in here, is what she is.
And she's going to be
not a likely contender.
She's going to be a good price.
Yeah.
She's going to be a big price in a race where I don't know if I necessarily, the one's already run for a tag. I mean, a Purite is supposed to be on the lead, but we're talking about a horse should be on a lead that's been on the lead twice in her life. You and I feel the same way about it. We've talked about this, including the day last time, and she got left, so it mitigates it a little bit. She's never been really ridden for speed other than the day she broke her maiden, and that wasn't a really fast pace. So, you know, you don't know what they want to do with her. Like you said, Pecatonica, the world's got to be perfectly on its axis for her to get her money.
She can't.
So it's a kind of race where, yeah, you know, George Weaver's horses are running. Let me take a shot at a little bit of a price here. Who's going to be 12? I almost put her on top. Okay. But I like Star Divine's debut, and I thought her last race was better than
I thought Star Divine would be a short price near, and I'm not sure she's proven it. But I'm not against her. I just didn't really want her to super.
She got the most. She probably has the most blue sky. The other filly's probably the best value.
She's run 2 races, so of course she has the most upside. Race number 9, the heavy favorite's going to be Lord Flintshire. We'll look at his last race. He's the likeliest winner. I don't like this horse, but he's the likeliest winner. I picked him second. I just can't pick this horse on top at 4 to 5.
Dropped into the State Breds last time, finished second. Listen, I had nothing real clever to say here, unfortunately. I didn't. If you have an opinion, which you obviously have a little bit of a fuzzy, I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to include the horse. I don't want to say I copped out here, but to me, there wasn't
I'm
anything
not,
real
I'm
clever
not,
to say here.
There's nothing much going on here.
Yeah.
You know, the 10 comes out of a fair performance that looks better on paper than it was. The horse was, Eric did completely take this horse out of the race early, but didn't really show any speed. Had a pretty good trip after that, angled wide late, but didn't matter. I guess that horse is not impossible, but doesn't draw particularly well on the outside. Obviously, tough workout as a horse that's really not a turf pedigree, but wouldn't be shocking if that horse improved. So, I mean, I could see them as possibilities. As far as can it happen, this horse was really slammed to start last time. It took out a position. Gets a rider change. I actually think Hector Diaz, I'm assuming he's still on this horse, has ridden well when he's had an opportunity.
Yeah, the
here.
5 is Heeman Harkey. That's the rider change in the race.
It changes everything for me. You're going to tell me that
I'm
now?
just letting you know.
You couldn't tell me that.
You brought up
before
a
the show
rider change.
started.
I'm telling you what it is.
How can you hide this information? Really, you were my friend.
It was on the scratch sheet this morning.
No, you're supposed to tell me, big
Johnny I reminds me when he gave the changes.
This horse's race at Monmouth second out was good enough with the last race to routine improvement, maybe improved a little bit. I don't love this horse. I was looking for an alternative and thought this horse ran well enough with the trouble last time. First start as a 3-year-old that maybe he's moved a little bit forward, comes here. Not a great, just a bit of a shot. I obviously the 3 Lord Flincher's horse to beat, but I got to tell you something. He ain't much
No,
horse.
he's
I
not.
mean,
No,
he was
he's not.
life and death to suck up for second with a very good ride by Eric last time out. I don't know. I mean,
I'll use tough workout.
he's no better than my horse coming from Florida.
I'll tell you.
And my horse will be 4 times.
I'll
10
use
times
tough
the price.
workout. I'll use tough workouts. A little interesting in here. There's not a ton of turf pedigree, but I mean, a lot of these horses have similar running. I know, similar running styles. He'll be in front at the very least, and if he takes to it,
you're assuming he'll be.
Yeah, I mean, he should be right based on his first race.
He should be
supposed to be on the front end.
He should be. Whether or not he is remains to be seen. Who's riding the 9 if Heeman Harkey's riding this 5?
Oh, I don't know. That's a very interesting question.
You know, you give out information like that. You don't seal the deal.
What about the firster in here, Kimmel? What about Brennan's War?
John Kimmel is 0 for 5 with first-time stars in turf races, maiden claiming turf races.
Dan was 3 for 17, 0 for 3 on the turf, but it is a war dancer. I don't know.
First-time starter.
First-time starter.
You could roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
Roll the dice. Thoroughbreds owns the horse.
First-time starter in a race where there's not a lot going on otherwise.
Head over to Naira Bets.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on over there. And we'll match the $200 your initial deposit if you say the name Performer on your way into the door. Keep the money in the game and support racing in New York. Play through Naira Bets. 50-50. Some of the information is available in this slate. Some of it isn't. To opt in, I think you have to play in the app. If you want all the info, go to nairabets.com. Get that $10 bonus Thursday. Saturday contest, $300 buy-in, all live money. Even if you don't make any prizes, you keep the money you make. You can register all week, not just Friday. Register until Friday at 5 p.m. We like to keep you guessing.
Up until Friday.
We like to keep you guessing.
I'll go with Diodoro and Tag, by the way.
Anthony, looking at the PPs now and answering the question just makes you look worse. FS2 from 3 to 8:30 today. America's Day at the Races. I got to go upstairs. I got to go talk to my man, Rob Dibble.
Name drop.
What?
Happy birthday, Mom.
Rob is on ESPN. ESPN in Hartford, talking about the races here.
That's
They're
awesome.
great friends of ours. They come to Saratoga. They've come here to the Belmont.
Everybody's coming to Saratoga this year. The Nasty Boys. Well, he was a nasty boy.
Rob's
I had no problem with the Reds. I wasn't a big Oakland A's fan, so he took care of the Oakland A's.
All right. I'm sure some of our listeners, viewers, listen to them. They're in Hartford.
I would hope so.
All right. We're done. America's Day at the Races, though. I'll be up here with Acacia at 3. You'll be...
radio.
Be on the radio. There you go. Everybody's got to be somewhere. Have a great day. Johnny I up next. Reprise Scratches and Changes.